This is going to be my video for week 2. Video for week 22 of AmeriCorps NCCC. I'm looking pretty studious today with my glasses because we've been doing some pretty light work, so I can actually wear these and not have to worry about putting on my safety glasses on and off all day. So it's nice to wear my glasses in here. I'm going to start off last week, like usual, telling you from last Wednesday was what went on. So last Wednesday, we basically was a travel day. We traveled here to Palo Alto. We arrived after about 2 hours of travel. That morning they made us do some cleaning stuff around the campus, so we left late, so we didn't really leave till like 10 o'clock. But we got here probably around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we arrived at our Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is one of our sponsoring nonprofits, as well as Project We Hope and Rebuild Together Peninsula. We arrived here and they were pretty nice. They actually had us provided out lunch, which is really nice. This round we're supposed to have meals provided, so that's really a weird situation that I'll tell you about towards the end of the video. But yeah, not going well with that. But they really had to-go sandwiches for us there, which were really nice. And then they took us on some tours. They literally took us on driving tours around the town twice. Actually, no, wait, 3 times. 3 times, because we went once with a sponsor from each place. And they literally showed us the same thing 3 times. And every time they told us, oh, East Palo Alto is like, they talked about the economy here and how like houses like costs are so expensive because Facebook's like built just down the street, and like apparently like rents just skyrocketed for like a 1-bedroom. Like the cheapest you can find is like $3,000. If you want to get like anything decent, it's going to be like 6,000. Like it's just like ridiculous housing market. And then they told us about how there's like 54 churches in the 2 square miles that is actually East Palo Alto. So I mean that was kind of strange. And they told us that 3 times. So that was basically Wednesday. We took a tour of all of the different locations, the church, Seventh-day Adventist Church, Project We Hope, and as well as We Build Together Peninsula. And then starting Thursday, we actually went to the warehouse that We Build Together Peninsula. And we did some work there for them. We started repainting some walls that they needed painted. We created like a AmeriCorps office space because they're actually a really interesting organization because they've hosted, I don't know who texts me. I never get texts. Like, nobody likes me. But they actually hosted AmeriCorps state national members every year for like the last 6 years or something, for like a ridiculous amount of time. And this is the first year they'd actually get a state national team or state national people, so they have an AmeriCorps NCCC team instead. And the reason they were able to is because they have like a housing issue, but it's really nice now because they bought a house specifically to house people from AmeriCorps. So it costs like $400,000 for them to buy the house, but they're completely redoing it, adding 2 extra bedrooms, and are going to allow people who serve with them through AmeriCorps to live there. So that's something anybody who's watching this video get interested in. They're going to have a really nice house for people to live in the San Francisco area, which is just overly like ridiculously expensive. And you can just work with them through AmeriCorps and get your housing provided. And we also got free muffins that day, and their muffins were delicious. And we did some rubber floor guards, like on the walls they have like the little trims on the bottom. We attached all those. That's actually what I did most of the day. And we folded shirts. We folded like a ridiculous amount of shirts. And then going on the next day, which is Friday, we worked with Rebuild Together again, and we did some jackhammering. There was actually like a deck they were building off. Well, I guess I should tell you about Rebuild Together. Rebuild Together is like an organization that they help low-income families who can't afford to do renovations on their home that they provide them. And this lady, what we did for her was she had a deck that was like rotting through, so we're building her a new deck, and what we did was do jackhammer out the cement so we could actually build cement blocks down, because like, I guess, I don't know what it's called, but they change regulations on how things have to be done. And we basically jackhammered through the cement, dug down like 18 inches, and then put little metal bars so they can pull new cement. We can actually build the deck later. So that's what we did. Our team actually got split in half that day, and some of the people went and worked on the AmeriCorps house building. And we did that, and we got lunch provided because we went with the cool people, and the other half of the team didn't. Yeah, but anywho, that was what we did this day. And then Saturday we went to Half Moon Bay because it was our first day off, which is like 30 minutes west of where we're at. And it was pretty interesting. We hung out on the beach most of the day, and then we walked the main street there. And then Sunday, I did nothing. Other people were going out and doing stuff, but I did nothing. I stayed in and watched movies all day. I did some Netflix, and I did some Shudder. I tried out Shudder, which is supposed to be a really good, like, new horror movie hosting website similar to Netflix. And don't do it. I was trying to watch movies and they would not play, and it was just a problem. Don't try Shutter. Monday, which was the next day, we actually were working with Project We Hope, because the way our weeks are set up, we're going to work with We Hope on Monday, Tuesday, and then work with Rebuild together Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the other sponsor organization, which is Seventh-day Adventist, we're just going to be doing stuff for them here and there. But, yeah, so Monday we're working with Project We Hope, and basically the main things they need to do, they have like a really big room upstairs where it's just like all kinds of bedding and pillows and all kinds of stuff they needed inventoried, because people who stay at the shelter, they actually are like try and work into like kind of like a transition house type thing, and they have all this stuff upstairs so that way when people move out of the shelter and into their own place, they can give them all the linens and pots and pans and stuff. And we took inventory of all the stuff they had up there, which was pretty interesting. I mean, it was a really good change of pace for work. And then we had to clean the kitchen downstairs because apparently they weren't abiding by food health code standards very well, and there was just all kinds of messes. I don't know. I was doing inventory as people were cleaning downstairs. I got the easy job. Ain't complaining. And then it was my birthday yesterday too, and that day, that evening, went to Cheesecake Factory for my birthday because that's where I said I wanted to go. And they got me gifts, which is really cool. I'm gonna start with the candy. Emily got me candy. It's just gummy worms and Hershey's and Reese's, which are like some of my favorites. And she got me like a $50 iTunes gift card. Like, that's a lot of money. Like, she's like my age and she's sending money like that on my birthday. No. And she got me this cute cat card. Wow. And then the team together made me this other card. Well, I guess other people pitched on that card. It wasn't just Emily, but it was her idea. And they've got me this cute team card, which is a Volkswagen bus. And it's blue just like mine. And they all signed it. Which is nice because this is just so cute. Thanks, y'all. And that was Monday. And it was my birthday. 22. And Tuesday, which was yesterday. Actually, Tuesday, which is today. We did a lot of more. We finished off our inventory and we cleaned a patio. They have like a really cool patio where it's like they have all the smokers go and smoke because they don't want them to be seen by the public because the public gets bad image of smokers, which I mean, don't smoke. And then they also have like a little patio where they keep like people who are homeless who have pets. They can bring their pets and their pets can stay there as well, which I think is really interesting. And I don't think a lot of homeless shelters do that, so that's really cool. So we cleaned the patio, and then we finished off inventory, and we also finished off cleaning the kitchen. And I got really irritated because come time to go home when it was 4 o'clock, we started at 8, we were supposed to work till 4. They're like, you want to stay an extra hour? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, well, we need to finish doing this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, let me give you a breakdown of the day. We showed up. We were doing nothing for basically 3 hours because the lady who was supposed to be there with us to help clean the kitchen wasn't there and didn't show up till 11. So we sat there from 8 to 11, basically fiddle partying around. And then when she showed up, we finally started cleaning the kitchen. And then we got the kitchen clean. Or we tried to, and then it went over into a different time. And it's like, no, like I don't want to stay an extra hour because we should have had this done this morning. We could have got started on it 3 hours earlier and not been sitting around waiting for her. And all the other team wanted to stay, and I'm like, no, like that's dumb. And it gets me because the thing they tried to pull out on me is, well, it's not all about the hours. We need help. And I'm like, oh, okay, well that's one thing. But when every other day you're over here telling me, oh, it's more hours, all happy, I'm like, bitch, no. I'm tired of getting all these hours. I only need 8 hours every day for the rest of the program in order to finish my hours, my 1,700. It's like, I want some time off. And it really gets me because the day before on Monday, when it was my birthday, we actually got off 2 hours early. And they're like, no, we can't just have 6 hours, we need 8. And I'm like, we got off early, we can chill, it's my birthday. Like, I don't want to go and do more stuff. So they ended up scheduling like an activity. So we go and do an activity for 2 hours, which wasn't an activity. We sat there while one girl actually worked on the poster, and then people like came up with ideas for what we wanted to do for our bucket list. But we sat there for 2 hours doing basically nothing. And I'm like, I could have had me time for my birthday. Anywho, hours are terrible in this program. Just an interesting little thing to share. And also I want to tell you about our food issue. Okay, so we're supposed to have food provided. But with like the kitchen being so dirty and stuff, they weren't allowed to actually make food there. So we actually got like no food. So Robert, our team leader, had to call and get us like a travel budget so we could go out and eat, which was really convenient because then we got to go out to Cheesecake Factory for my birthday. And now that we're actually getting our food provided better, I think, because she went and bought, the head here at We Hope went and bought us a lot of food, so our fridge is completely stocked, as you will see in my walkthrough video if you watch that for round 3. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's settled out now, but it was just an interesting thing that our food was supposed to be provided for our shelter, and all of us had issues with eating food that's supposed to be going to homeless people in front of the homeless people, because we're eating like alongside them, so it's kind of weird when we're showing up and we're federally funded to have food, and then we're supposed to be getting fed by the shelter. Like, I don't know, it's so dumb. Anywho, I feel like I ran it a lot this video. But yeah, that was this week of AmeriCorps NCCC. I feel like I'm just different because I'm wearing my glasses. Maybe that's it. Anywho, like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video.